Good morning. Hope you had a good Christmas. Plenty of matches this Boxing Day. Let's take a look through the Premier League, which is a tough old coupon if you're looking at it at face value. We've got new manager here for Nottingham Forest. We've got potentially new manager here if Newcastle can't appease the Saudis. Well, Nuno Espirito Santo has come at the right time. He's delivered all his presents yesterday, and he's hoping to deliver an away present for Forest. Very impressive opening against Bournemouth, which was scuppered by a Forest red card, but they still managed a 2-2 until rather inevitable late Bournemouth winner. Newcastle, well, absolutely delighted to be at home. They can't do anything away from home. Absolutely appalling performance, failing to score in 3 of the last 4 away matches. 7 consecutive home wins, scoring in the last 9 at home. Talk about contrast. Wow. So I've included a hot stat just for the Christmas period. This comes from Soccer24.com. Forest have won only one of the last 7 Boxing Day fixtures, which is very interesting indeed. Bournemouth and Fulham. Well, this is goals against potential goals, at least from the last match's perspective. Bournemouth, well, they took advantage of that Forest red card to continue what has been a superb run. 5 wins and a draw in the last 6 matches, scoring 2+ goals. Coincidence? Not so sure. Fulham were coming off the back of scoring 13 goals in 3 consecutive home matches, but Burnley kept them to 0 goals. That was a coupon buster for us, but amply compensated for with other trades. No win in 8 away for Fulham. This is an ample opportunity for Bournemouth to continue along their positive ways, but 2.1 the favourite is a little non-committal from the market. It's giving Fulham an outside chance. Both sides have had a recent 0-0s at half-time, but over 2.5 goals in the second half. You might want to look at that as a potential angle today. If it's 0-0 at half-time, rather than laying the draw second half, lay over 2.5 goals. Lay under 2.5 goals, sorry. Hot stat. All but one of Fulham bosses Marco Silva's last 7 personal head-to-heads against Bournemouth saw both teams to score on the day. Very interesting hot stat. Sheffield United and Luton, newly promoted sides meeting each other means I think these two will be eyeing the 3 points. So very little research to be done. Sheffield United have a new manager as well, Chris Wilder, and both sides did a little bit of giant killing in the last match. Well, were it not for 97 minutes extra time, Chris Wilder would have nicked a 0-1. The usual modus operandi for Chris Wilder will be a 0-0 at half-time, try to nick a 1-0. But against fellow lowly opposition, we might see that pattern change with the possibility of Sheffield United finding the task a little easier. Burnley against Liverpool, well, due deference to Burnley, keeping 13 goals in 3 matches. Fulham, quiet. Can they do the same for Liverpool? There was that excellent Liverpool stat, which is part of the hot stat from Soccer24 last year, well, against Luton, where Liverpool had a really tricky away record against newly promoted sides. That ended against Sheffield United, but it was a 1-1 draw against Luton. Just be careful with Burnley. Now they've got that confidence from a clean sheet away at Fulham. This is likely to be colour by numbers, typical newly promoted side performance. Try to nick a 0-0 at half-time. Try to stay in the match for as long as possible. Nick a late 1-0, and Merry Christmas. But Liverpool, 14 goals scored post 76 minute. They can get themselves out of the doo-doo with relative ease. Man United and Aston Villa, as you know, an absolute imponderable. Man United are totally unreadable. Aston Villa have started scoring 2 goals away from home, but they were kept very quiet by Sheffield United at home, where they normally score 3 or 4. An interesting match. Man United just all over the shop. Team ethic is missing. There's just no positive vibes there at all. And it's not going to be a match for me to trade or to research. Elsewhere, let's have a look. Belgian Julep League. We can have a quick look at the matches, using Soccer24.com. So I've had too much mulled wine, you see. Soccerstats.com. Let's have a quick look at the Jupiler League. And we'll do that with Microsoft Edge. Works better with Soccerstats.com and all of its advertising. So we head off to BE for Belgium. Have just a quick look through. Got all the matches lined up. Click on the stats button here and scroll on down. The quickest way to look at a match is via the challenge table. But you can stop off at the current streaks and sequences and you'll see that Antwerp scored and conceded in the last 4 away matches, scored in the last 10 matches, and you'll see the home side, Genk, no defeat in 8 at home, scoring in the last 7 at home, scoring 2+ goals in the last 6 at home. So automatically, you've got the feeling that this Genk side are going to be tough to beat at home. Tough to keep out as well. This is the challenge table. It'll give you a quick indication of where these two sides are relative to each other. 6th against 5th. Far too many both teams to score for Genk against the top 5. It was a 3-2 loss for Genk the last time these two met. Looks like a very strong both teams to score angle. Genk are yet to beat the top 8 at home, but yet to lose. Well, I haven't been to first yet. No, yet to lose. 3 consecutive score sheets, score draws. I mean, except mulled wine again. Antwerp, well, you can see limping a little away from home against the top 9. Just the 1 win against the Cercle Brugge. Losing against 2nd and 4th. That just gives you a quick indication. You've got two sides quite near to each other, so just be cautious. And you've got score draws for the home side. Any goals times angles you can get here. No strong patterns, but 65% of Genk goals scored have come second half. Really strong openers and finishers second half. Looking at Antwerp away from home, 62% of their goals scored have come second half. So we might see some second half action here. So for me, Genk look good at home. They're tough to beat. They're scoring 2+ goals far too readily at home. But Antwerp are on a bit of an unbeaten run. Draw and a win in the last 3. But overall, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 1 win in the last 5 away matches. An interesting match. Your next port of call will be to look at the odds. 2.1 the favourite. So that, as you see with that Fulham match, it doesn't discount Antwerp. Kortrijk and Genk. Let's have a quick look. Kortrijk and Ghent. So let's go back. Kortrijk and Ghent, soccerstats.com. So this is a just basic getting a feel kind of research. So you've got an idea of teams' performances, and already you can see with the red and yellows, Kortrijk are very infrequent winners. What does that say in the market? Indeed, 1.36, the favourite for Ghent. So that looks justified. Ghent, only 1 win in the last 4 away matches, a couple of 2-0 defeats, but they might get away with it against this Kortrijk side, as you can see. They have conceded in the last 5 away, Ghent. Kortrijk have conceded in the last 3 at home, no win in 8. Looking at the challenge table, give you an indication. Kortrijk are bottom of the league, so I think you've got a green light to have a go, but very interesting. They tend to improve against the top sides. 2-2 at home against 2nd, 1-0 at home against 4th, 2-1 win at home against 7th. A couple of those were Bruges sides. I don't know if that's of any interest, if there's a Bruges derby element to it. Ghent, been a bit poor away from home against the top 7, but there's no questioning. 8 wins and 2 1-1 draws, home and away against 9th and lower. That should have you feeling relatively confident that Ghent won't lose, but they do score and concede against 11th and lower, so just be prepared for that potential as well. Goal times will give you an indication of the bias, first half or second half. Let's have a quick look, and it's a strong second half conceding bias for the home side. Forgotten their name, Kortrijk. And for the away side, 3-0 at half-time away, 1 at full-time. So you've already got a clue that Kortrijk don't tend to win. Only 2 wins all season. So if they lead with that Ghent's both teams to score angle, you might get a handle in there. Leuven are playing Eupen. Let's have a look at these two. And again, you're seeing a whole raft of red recently for both sides. That doesn't interest me, really. Just suggesting they're a bit wobbly. The home side, Leuven, have conceded in the last 8 matches, have not won in the 3 consecutive home defeats, in fact. 2 consecutive away defeats for Eupen, conceding in the last 8 away and not scoring in the last 2 away. So this match has an element of trust issues about it. Let's see if we can guess the odds. These are bottom 3. I would say this would be a 2.3 the favourite. You'll note Eupen tend to pick up the majority of their wins against 13th and lower, albeit 2 of the wins at home. So I would favour them slightly on that basis. But 1 out of 3 of Leuven's wins have come against the bottom 3. It was a 3-1 loss the last time these two met. So we do have head-to-heads coming into effect as well. The 1.8, the market's giving Leuven a chance. Well, I would have looked at this and saying that Eupen are not discounted. So I would disagree with the market there. Let's have a look at the goal times. And again, you've got a strong second half conceding bias for the away side. 12 of 17 goals conceded away have come second half for Eupen. So that will give you carte blanche, I think, to take on any 0-0 at half-time. Indeed, they've had 4 0-0s at half-time away, none at full-time. So trust issues with that match, and I would disagree with the market. I wouldn't put Leuven as favourite there. Eupen tend to pick up 3 of their wins against the bottom 3. Westerlo and RDWM. Weapons of mass destruction. No, that's not it, is it? Molenbeek, newly promoted. So you've automatically got that angle to think about in the match. And you can see immediately just a lack of consistency. Albeit 2 wins in the last 3 matches for Westerlo is an improvement, but they're struggling at home. Only the 2 home wins have come on the 7th of October and the 15th of December. RWDM looks like a typical newly promoted side, having a bit of trouble. For the home side, Westerlo have scored in the last 11 and the last 5 at home. The away side, no draw in 5 away, conceded in the last 5 away, Molenbeek. Challenge table will be interesting. You can use this first goal if you want. You'll see that Molenbeek have only led at half-time away in only 1 of 9 away matches. That might give you an angle to lay them if they lead. These two in the wrong side of the table, 12th against 11th, so arguably they will find each other a bit better. Indeed, it was 1-1 last time these two met. And Westerlo's wins have only come against the bottom 3, notably. But having said that, Molenbeek, their 2 wins away have come against the bottom 3 as well. So this is up in the air for me. So a draw last time these two met. Both sides tend to do their winning against real strugglers. These two are right next to each other in the table. A hell of a lot of conceding in the last 15 minutes for both sides. 17 goals, 16 goals in total between these two conceded in the last 15 minutes. You might want to see some late action in that particular match. Let's have a look at the odds out of interest. Well, Westerlo favourite, probably because of the newly promoted element, but these two are very tight. It was 1-1 last time these two met. I would disagree with that. Club Brugge and Union St Gilloise, this is a clash of the big boys, hence 2.3 the favourite. And I suspect these two will be near the top of the league, and there'll be a lot of greens about. We got a nice profit from Eupen Union St Gilloise last time. They got 2 goals before half-time. They are in the most consistent recent form. All wins bar a draw since the 24th of September is outstanding. Club Brugge, 3 wins in the last 4 at home. So they're going to feel confident. Indeed, they're coming off the back of 5 clean sheets in the last 6 matches overall. So as you can see, this is a typical 2.3 the favourite match. Got 2 powerhouses in Belgium clashing in really good recent form. Going to be very tough to split these two or to get an idea of who's going to be the winner. 4th against 1st, 2-1 defeat for Club Brugge in the last head-to-head. So at least we've got head-to-heads to work with. Club Brugge won't fear anyone. They've beaten 3rd and 5th 2-0 and 2-1 at home. Indeed, they're unbeaten at home. Union St-Gilloise nearly unbeaten away. Their only loss against Mechelen. That may have been red card affected. I'm not sure. So it's a tough match to pick. These two are in far too good order for us to pick a winner. So that's the Belgian Jupiler League for you. That's the quickest way to just gain an insight into the matches. English Championship, English League 1, English League 2 suggests a possible live chat webinar at 3 o'clock Boxing Day, if you're up for that. Liga Ha'al. Well, it's probably a league to avoid. Hapoel Jerusalem, Hapoel Tel Aviv, 2.45 the favourite. But you can have a quick look at Netanya Ashdod and all hail to the Ale, Hapoel Beer Shiva. So let's have a quick look at Israel. Where do you find Israel? At soccerstats.com. You'll find it here. Israel, Liga Ha'al. So one of these matches was 2.4 the favourite. We'll ignore that. Have a look at Maccabi Netanya and Ashdod. Again, you can just do what we did in Belgium to get a quick insight into the match. Although in Israel, I would be more keen on using in-place stats. As you can see, just the 2 wins for either side. So immediately you're on the back foot with these two. They're not two of the more familiar names in Israeli football like Maccabi Tel Aviv, Hapoel Beersheva, all hail to the Ale, and Maccabi Haifa, etc. Beitar Jerusalem. These two, much of a muchness, I would suggest. And probably, if we've got a challenge table, which we don't, how do I cure that? You know the answer, I hope. Well, looking at the away side, Ashdod have conceded 11 goals in the second half away from home, none in the first half. So watch out for that pattern. Very, very strong pattern indeed. FC Stats is what you use to have a quick look at the challenge table where it's not appearing in soccerstats.com. So we're looking at Ashdod against Maccabi Netanya. So we're looking at Maccabi Netanya first, I would suggest. And these two are very closely aligned to each other in the league. And Netanya tend to do their winning against 8th and 13th and are playing 12th today. That's their only 2 wins. Ashdod look a bit dodgy. Ashdodgy. Well, they haven't played 5th to 11th away from home. It's a big gap in form. Question mark. So that would be a match for me to leave alone. But do note Ashdod's 100% conceding rate in the second half. All hail to the Ale. More of a side to react to in play. And they have been very, very reliable. Hapoel Beersheva. Superb stuff from them. This was a very profitable play coming from 1-0. And it was all there in the in-play stats. What I'm saying about the beer, if they turn up, they'll turn up. Another impressive 4-goal haul away from home when 3-1 down. That's a real pattern to cling on to, but they're at home on this occasion and are having trouble. And this will be illuminated here because they're 8th in the league. Their home form doesn't look that hot, as you can tell here. They're playing Hapoel Haifa today, who are 3rd in the league. They've only had 1-0 losses against the top 2, a 1-1 and a 0-0 against the top 5. So be prepared for a potentially tight match there. Haifa away from home. We're just looking at their away form, really, to get a quick insight, and they look pretty solid, don't they? So I would be favouring Hapoel Haifa here, but I would acknowledge Beersheva have scored 4 goals in each of the last 2 away matches. So if they can capture that form at home, well, they're very short price favourites. That's strange. It's great, isn't it? When you do your research without knowing the odds, you tend to disagree. I can't see why Hapoel Haifa have been discounted so much. They're 3rd in the league, for goodness sake. Why on earth are the beer 1.6 favourites? So that's something for you to think about. I won't be covering this one, but I'll be covering some of the others for you. Italian Serie B, won't be looking through all of these. Take your cues. Look, 2.7 the favourite, 2.8 the favourite, 2.3 the favourite, 2.75 the favourite, 2.5, 2.3, 2.38, 2.55. That is a very difficult coupon. But that said, we had a really good profit from Venezia the other day, and from Parma, and indeed from Sampdoria, although Sampdoria's got us out of the doo-doo when they were red carded 1-2 down. They made it 2-2, thankfully, and hopefully you greened up there. So I'll see you 3 o'clock onwards. Dundee and Celtic. Celtic, bit untrustworthy, limped over the line, 2-0 up, 2-0 win, second half goals, 1.07 shot last match. So watching brief, I think, for Celtic. They might have had a little bit too much haggis, I think. This Christmas break, they were very unappealing at 1.07. So see you provisionally for a 3 o'clock live chat webinar. A quick in and out, as the actors said to the bishop. It is pantomime season. 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock should capture all of the English matches. And boy, it was busy in the last live chat webinar. We didn't have enough hands to deal with all of the trades. Huge amount of profitable trades. Just couldn't get round to all of them. So if you're going to attend a live chat webinar, be prepared. And I would also give you some advice. Listen, because I won't be able to follow up on all of the plays that I mention. So just listen to what's being said. For example, the Peterborough got a nice profit from that one, for example. I didn't place that trade on. And some other matches, I mentioned a 1-3. I think Birmingham leading. Wayne Rooney's new side. 1-3 red carded. Could have laid them at 1-3. I didn't get round to that because I was facilitating. So if you do attend the live chat webinar, please head on over to these matches. Don't wait for me to place any trades because I'm facilitating. I can't get to every single one. And if you do, you're going to make a few quid. And you've got some excellent members as well with their excellent insights, which will make you some money. Really well thought out arguments to trade or not to trade from our members who attend the live chat. Have a great Boxing Day. See you at 3 o'clock.